talk to you guys about some different opportunities and get some word out. So we'll start with Ginger, and then we're going to go to Victoria to talk about our website.
I'm going to use
No, we're
my notes so I don't forget anything. I think I know everybody.
Let's see.
Lissy!
Hi, nice to meet you finally. We've talked on Facebook.
Yes, we have. That's great. That's great. So what I wanted to do was talk about services that the Small Business Development Center has through KCC in Klamath Falls. They also come over here, and then I want to talk about the loan programs through SCOED. And I've got a little bit of printed material back there on the little goodie table. And I've got my business card and the SBDC's business card, so that if you want to pick them up and give them a call, that'd be great. So the Small Business Development Center, I don't know if any of you know, but it's a kind of a nationwide program, and they usually attach themselves to a college business department or a community college. And in this case, they do operate through KCC over in Klamath, so their office is there. And it makes it awkward for us. I mean, we all feel like that sometimes, that everything's in Klamath or someplace else besides Lakeview. But they've recently decided that they've had a little bit more interest in folks coming over here and helping folks out. So there's a couple of things that they do. One of them is a business startup class, which is really basic for folks that want to start a business. But it's actually really good because it starts putting you in contact with them, getting you involved with their programs, developing a business plan, which is huge. And I'll talk a little bit more about business plans for existing businesses and why sometimes that's important. Come on in. So what I would recommend is go and get a business card over here and go on their website and get signed up for their services, get registered for their services, and that will give you some access to what they have available online. They've got all kinds of things like marketing and other business type services that you can read about, and then you can sign up to get more information. And you can sign up for one-on-one advising. And there's a fellow by the name of Barry Faganello, and he comes over here about once every 2 months and schedules appointments with folks to talk about, it can be anything. It can be a business startup, it can be you're thinking about expanding into a new product line, or maybe you just need some help to get through January, February, and March. As we all know that's kind of a slow time for business, period. And it's that way everywhere, but I think it's a little more accentuated here just because of how Lakeview is set up business-wise. So he can be really helpful. He's a really nice guy. He will come over more often, possibly if there's interest. The way to get to be able to talk to him is to go through their website and get registered and everything. Part of the reason why they really, there's a couple of reasons why they really encourage people to do that, is that there's some paperwork, or not paperwork, but some things that you need to sign off on that sort of give them permission to have more conversation with you and to send you information. They want that all taped, some disclaimers and those sorts of things. They would like that taken care of, and that just sort of leads the way into that. And then it also gives you access to find out more about the services that they have to offer. So I really encourage you to give him a call. Some of the things that they can help you with, like I said before, and SCOED can help you with the loan part of this, is if you want to do some sort of business expansion and you don't quite, you're sort of in that place where if you don't do it, you're just going to be staying where you're at. And if you do it, there's some risk involved and it makes you a little bit nervous. Well, he can help you work through that. And part of how they do that is to do a forecasting business plan. And that can really show you and help you see how long will it take me to recoup what I'm going to spend here in order to get that next leg up. And is it really going to be worth it? So he can really be quite technical and help you, think about those kinds of things. So that can be good. So that's kind of about the SBDC. There's some little cards back here. One of them, there's one about business plan development. There's one about the startup program for BASIC. There's one about what kind of risks are we taking when we do this? And then the different topics that they can help you with. So there's plenty of them back there if you'd like to take one. So in terms of what can SCOA do, and what can I do, or what do I do? Everybody knows the Lakeview way of doing things, and that is you just stop by, right? So I have people stop by all the time, and it's great because it keeps me multitasking, and it keeps that skill very sharpened. And most people come by, they've got, a lot of people, I would say probably about 80% of the people that stop by is they've got an idea, and they just want to try it out, and they want to know what other resources might be available, or is there a building in town that's available, or what is it, if I've got this idea, what do you know that you might be able to help me with to make that happen? So there's a good portion of my daily time. I would say I have a couple of people a day. They're either calling me on the phone or they're stopping by. And it's kind of surprising that it's that way. Some are people who are already in business. Others are folks that are just getting started. A lot of them are home-based businesses, and they're trying to figure out how they can go that next step. They've had some success at home, and now they're trying to figure out, what can I do to broaden my horizons here and branch out. So there's a lot of different things. A lot of what I do is to refer them to other people. Some of them are resources here in town, accountants, attorneys, other folks that have had the similar experiences, retired people that I know that they can go and talk to. Sometimes the people out of the area. Often especially if they're looking at borrowing money, I refer them to Betty Riley, who's my counterpart in Klamath Falls, because she's the loan officer for any of the federal money that we have available to us. So the money that we have available that we can loan, there's 2 or 3 different programs. But one of the things that we have here that's really nice is the county has what they call a revolving fund account or loan program. And you can borrow up to $30,000 for your business endeavor, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be a startup. It can be helping your business grow, or buying a piece of equipment, or whatever. And Ann Crumrine has the applications for that, and she can, if you get in touch with her, she can email it to you, or you can ask me and I can email it to you. The loan rules, so to speak, or the basic ones for all of our loan programs and for the county one, is that you must be turned down by a bank. And I know that sounds like, it's kind of weird. Usually it's the other way around. You've got to be approved before you can get a loan. But with the federal money and with the county money, we don't want to, actually the federal money, there's a rule that you can't compete with a bank. So you have to be turned down in order to qualify, because we don't want to do that. There is one exception, and that's with what we call gap financing. And that's where, say you've got a $150,000 project, I'm just throwing out some numbers here, and you go to the bank, and we ask you to go to the bank first because we want them to, turn you down. Or they may be able to give you or help you with $100,000 of your $150,000 project. Well, then we can come and do what they call gap financing, and as long as your project, you can show in your business plan that you're going to be able to do that, then we can loan the $50,000 and close the gap so that you can actually do your project. So that, we have done several of those in Klamath and Lake County, and they've been really successful. So the Lake County, getting back to the Lake County funding, that funding actually has to go before the commissioners. They need to approve it. The application's filled out, and Betty and I, or I, will help with that. It's a very simple one-page thing. It's not difficult. And the other programs, you would need to go through Betty. She's the loan officer. And like I said, the main thing is that you get turned down by the bank, or if it's gap financing, that you have that really clear. And I just want to make sure there's micro loans are available for under $50,000 for startup businesses, and then most of what we do in terms of the other types of lending are for equipment, and it can be, a $3,000 piece of equipment, or it can be all the way up to $50,000, $60,000. Sometimes several of the gap financing things that we've done are for construction or road construction or logging operations that need they can't quite get enough from the bank to, get that load or whatever, and they need some help with it. So we're able to help them with that. Or the purchase of buildings. That's the other thing that we've been able to help people with. So, that's kind of it in a nutshell. What I talked to Barry Faganello at the SBDC in Climb Up Today. If we can get some folks that are really interested in doing a marketing class or any other kind of business class, if you have some suggestions or some needs, we'd be happy, to design something and put it together for you all. I don't know, but it might be interesting, and it's getting on a little bit this year to do it, but it might be interesting sometime to have a conversation about what do we do as a business community in January, February, and March, when things are really slow, and how do you prepare for that? And what other kinds of things can we do to increase our sales or our ability? If we can't increase our sales, what can we do to get through that period of time? With gap financing on a calendar basis, how do we get through all of that? So there's things that we can do. We can be creative and try to be helpful. Like I said, a lot of what I do is just listen to what people have to say, what they're thinking of doing, providing them with resources for the next step. Like yesterday, had a phone call from a woman in Christmas Valley. She wants to have a home baking business, but she has dogs in her home, so she's not allowed to do home baking because she's got, pets that have free reign in her home. So she's trying to figure out what she should do. She hadn't thought about getting in touch with, there's 3 different community kitchens up there that she could probably rent or have use of. So I got her the phone numbers and the people to contact to, look for that. So I just don't ever know what it's going to be, but that's the kind of things, those are the kinds of things that we try to help people with. So, have you got any questions, or?
I have a question. Did
Sure.
Barry take over for Kat Rutledge?
No.
She's still there?
No, Kat is still there. She's the director. Barry is the advisor, one of the
Okay.
advisors and one of the instructors for some of the classes that they do.
Okay. Well, and I just have a comment about the SBDC is, well, I've been in business for about 25 years, and Jamie Albert, some of you may have known her, but she used to be the director, and I always said that my biggest successes were through her assistance.
Yeah.
So it's a really good resource.
Yeah, it is a good resource. And we kind of sort of forget about it here because it's not, right in front of us. But I've sort of been trying to encourage them to think about, we have this distance learning center over here, and I think that we might be able to do some things with them that we haven't been able to do in the past. So any suggestions or needs that you think you might have, I would really
Do they do
encourage you to
QuickBook
look.
trainings?
Pardon?
Do they do QuickBook trainings, that kind of thing? Or that's more
I'm pretty
part of
sure,
KCC?
I'm pretty sure the KCC does.
Okay.
Yeah, they do those things, right. But I don't know how available it is to us here.
I'd be willing to guess that's probably one of their distance learning classes you can take.
Yeah, I would think that it was. I mean, their little catalog just came out this past week, so we should be looking at that.
You have? Oh, I have a friend who needs some training in it, so
Yeah.
I'll hook her up with you.
Yeah, there you go.
Call that number.
And it's possible, you know, if you know people in the community that are able to do that and willing, that they may be willing to help support that sort of.
So I'm a
Thing
Quick
here.
Pro advisor and I used to teach it.
So I would take one of those cards and I would call Cat Rutledge and I would say, look, I'm here and I'd be willing to do that. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
get something like that going, that would be great. Anything else? Yeah, and I'm really good a lot of the time at just listening to help me. So I'm there. Thanks.
Thank you, Ginger.
Oh, wait a minute, I have a shameless plug. I forgot. The Alger Theater is really having their major kickoff, just not only for the fundraiser, but just to let everybody know what we're capable of doing right now. We are not capable of having movies, but we're capable of doing a lot of other things. And so we thought that March was going to be really quiet. Now all of a sudden we've got a Playa concert on March 14th. There's all sorts of things going on. So it's very exciting because we can do some performance in there. It's everybody has to be patient because we don't have a good sound system and we don't have a PA system. We're borrowing stuff. We don't have lights. We're using painter's lights this weekend and a couple of other weekends for some of the things we're doing. But this is what we're doing every Sunday in March. We've got something different going on, and I think it's going to be really fun. This weekend, we're having a movie poster auction. We've got about 12 posters that we're going to be auctioning off, and they're really fun. There's an Indiana Jones one, there's a SpongeBob one, and I can't remember what all there is. And the Beatty Butte Wild Horse Training Facility, anybody know about that? Got a great PowerPoint presentation and all the cowboys and everybody are going to be here. Ken Kessner he's the president of the board for the facility and he wanted him to ride one of the trained wild horses into the theater, but we thought maybe there might be some liability on that. And then on this 18th, the Old Time Fiddlers are going to play Irish music for our Irish weekend. And the 25th Bloomers is going to talk to us about spring flower planting. And we have some soil amendment products that are actually generated from our Cornerstone Industrial Minerals plant out here with one of their parent companies or one of their sideline companies in Florida that we're going to be raffling off. So it'll be fun.
The spaghetti feed.
Oh, yes, and then the spaghetti feed is on March 9th at the Elks Club. The Alger Angels are doing an auction, and you cannot believe what these kids have done in terms of gathering items, not just from Lakeview, but from the region. We've got passes to the High Desert Museum. There's all sorts of wonderful things, so it's pretty exciting. And May 14th, which is a Wednesday, is going to be, there's two guitarists at Playa, and they're going to be coming into town and doing a concert for us. And I believe on May 9th, the high school kids are going to be doing the community concert, which is also a Wednesday. So, and there's a couple of other things that aren't confirmed yet, but it's...
So what is the purchase your own theater seat?
Okay, purchase your own theater seat is that you can purchase, for $150, you can purchase a seat in your name, and it's not, you don't own the seat, but there'll be a little plaque. You can choose which seat you would like in the house, and then we're going to put a little brass plaque on the back of it with your name. So as a fundraiser to help us with purchasing the theater. Sure. And the map and legend for it and everything is going to be available at all 4 of these functions plus any others that we've got. And then I think at Irish Days we're going to have it there on Saturday Well, the tent, or it will be in the tent and available for that.
And where are we at, Rocky?
Purchase.
Pardon?
Where are we at towards purchase?
I can solidly say with the Cornerstone Corporate Challenge, I think we're at 27,000 right now.
Whose number is this?
Me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks Ginger. So I'm gonna introduce Victoria Haley, and she's doing our website for the chamber. And she's gonna talk about it and show you guys it, so make sure you can see the screen. I'm gonna turn
Yeah,
the lights
this
off.
is the best we've got as far as setting up the projector, so sorry if you can't see it. It's not super clear, but we'll give it a shot. So,
Is that too dark?
I don't know what you see. Can you see it okay? Yeah.
Okay, okay.
You can't see my notes. Okay, hold on.
Oh,
Okay, much better. So I'm with Vividly Consulting. I'm out of Klamath Falls. My background is in tourism, so I specialize in destination marketing and hotel marketing. But we do all kinds of stuff, including small business marketing. So the chamber has hired me to help do the rebranding for the chamber, and the board has decided they want to take on the role as the outward-facing tourism agency for the county. So for those of you that are familiar with Discover Klamath, over in Klamath, same concept. So for a lot of small communities, the chamber and the tourism agency reside under one roof, and I think that makes sense for you guys, since you guys don't necessarily have the staff and the funding to have a completely separate tourism board. So this is the new brand style guide that we just got done with. So it includes, this is a shortened version for you guys to look at, but it includes all the elements that the staff and future marketers for the Chamber of Commerce will need to implement the logo and all the style to match as the process goes through. So this is the new logo, but it's in the all-white version. This is our new brand promise. So part of the style guide is determining the voice that our marketing wants to have, and so I will read it to you, because I'm sure most of you can't read it from there. Simple all-American country lifestyle exists here in Lake County, Oregon. Our roots run deep in the high desert outback against the base of the Warner Mountains. Our dirt is rich with agriculture, sunstones, and primed for recreation. Blessed with the natural beauty of our lakes, forests, and rivers, there is no doubt that this is God's country. You can come and enjoy an authentic, homegrown adventure, and then kick your boots off and stay a while. So that's our brand promise. So that's something we'll display very actively on the website. It'll be something that we promote out when we're talking about why you should come to Lake County. So kind of to sum it up, the brand essence is kind of a short statement about what your brand stands for. Good example, like Volvo's, theirs is safety. So it's just a one-word statement. So ours is authentic American adventure. So we're not boasting that we don't have something we don't, but we're emphasizing the stuff that we do have. And right now it's a homegrown American adventure. So the slogan, which is part of the brand promise, we tied it in, is kick your boots off and stay a while. So obviously this messaging is focused toward tourism and people coming here to visit. And so we make the tagline face them as well. These are the elements, the personalities that'll go into all of the marketing. So these are the directions that we'll try to focus on as far as the wording in our marketing. Simplicity, the best things in life are uncomplicated. Natural, beautiful landscapes, lakes, forests, and high desert. Authentic, all-American country living. Countryside, room to explore, room to breathe. Rustic, original and untouched beauty. Deep roots, it takes roots to make a tree strong, it takes generations to make a legacy. Homegrown, homemade, homegrown, and a home away from home. Welcoming, Southern Oregon hospitality at every interaction from gas to glacier. So those are designed to kind of be the focus around what we're going to promote. So we're going to try to tie that into any marketing that we put out there as much as possible, including collateral pieces. Obviously, it'll be really displayed pretty heavily on the website. This is the logo. So the top one is the primary logo, and it's a little hard to see on the projector screen. And then the secondary logo is, of course, without the border. We decided to go with a boot in the middle, keep with the tagline, with a kick your boots off and stay a while. These are some other variations of the logo you might see that are approved logos. A one color and all black, and then the stacked logo, that'll be primarily used in social media. These are some characters that go with the brand or some brand symbols. These we'll use in promotions as well. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen any of like Travel Oregon's promotions. They do a lot of like hand-drawn characters. And so these are kind of some of the things that will go along with our marketing, and we'll add in as elements, an antelope and bighorn sheep. So that's the brand style guide. There's other pieces that come with the full style guide that really are kind of boring, so we didn't put them in there for you guys, like the text, fonts, and the colors and the sizes and all that technical stuff. So the website is the other piece that we're working on next. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but if you submitted photos to the photo contest and you see them in here, thank you. And I promise we will not display it publicly until we get your approval. This is the new website, so it's still being worked on right now. That picture is the picture that won the photo contest. So they're displayed till the end of February as the homepage photo. After that, we'll pick some new stuff. So the purpose of the website is to kind of be the landing page for everyone coming to visit Lakeview in Lake County. Right now, if you Google Lake County or Lakeview, you get the county's website, which is really focused inwards towards people that live here, residents, which makes sense. So this is going to hopefully come up very prominent in our searches or guest searches when they're searching for Lake County and Lakeview or events here. And hopefully that'll be pretty easy to do with the amount of content we'll have on the website. We should search really easily once the website's done. So we'll have two navigation bars. So you can't really read it because it's too small, but so we have the one on the top, which would be this navigation bar up here. And then we have the secondary navigation bar down here. So this we decided we wanted to focus on the things that people coming to visit are going to care about the most, where they're going to eat, where they're going to stay, and what they're going to do. There was a really good, I don't know if any of you heard her, and I don't know if she'll be coming to the tourism studio, but there's a really good presentation at the Klamath Falls Rural Tourism Studio that Travel Oregon put on that talked about the 7 slices. So were you at that one? Mm-hmm. So it was, you have 7 slices of ways to get money out of people, right? So these 3 are your meals, right? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. And then you have the 3 slices in between. So you've got something you do after breakfast, something you do after lunch, something you do after dinner, and then the overnight is your 7th slice. So the key is to get as many slices as you can of that pie and not have them drive down the road to the next city to get them. So our main navigation, what we'll focus on, so experience is going to be a list of activities that you would do. So fishing, hiking, biking, make it really easy for people to search for what they're passionate about. Enjoy, those are going to be your top attractions. So Warner Canyon Ski Hill is going to have a very built-out sub-page. It's actually going to be its own website. So once you click on it under Enjoy, it'll be under here, then it'll take you to their page with a lot of links back to the chamber page for the same aspects, where to stay, what to eat. On their page, we'll just link back to the chamber page. Events, that's going to include Roundup and Tour de Outback. Those 2 are also getting a sub-page, their own website as well as part of what the chamber's doing. And those 2 will link back to the main website. Chamber, so most of you are used to the chamber site as it is now. So for those of you that live here, it's obviously going to be directed towards a different audience. But this part is directed towards you. So we still left that tab so we can have the chamber's goals and missions to their membership under this. So under here we will have the membership directory. We'll have information about the staff and the directors of the chamber, as well as upcoming events strictly for the chamber, so your business-to-business events. Under the regular events tab, we will have a local event. So if you have stuff coming up for different businesses or other nonprofits and other hats you wear, we can list those on that page. Contact us, self-explanatory, and then gallery. And this actually ties into one of the main things that we're needing help with right now. and that's photography. So part of what we, part of what we are focusing on is getting new photo and video assets put together for the website and for future marketing materials. That's why we ran the photo contest, which was very successful. And we're in the midst of messaging those people to get access to use those photos, which there was like 400 some entries. Long process, but it's good, great process, we love it. So any photo assets that you have available, or if you know someone that has good assets that they're willing to donate, donate's the key word in that, unfortunately. We don't have a budget set aside for this, so we're just looking for great photography. An area where we're really, really struggling to get photos, probably because people don't think that they're the coolest thing to look at, is food photography, food, drinks, of local stuff here, as well as people. We're really lacking in actual pictures of people. We've got a lot of scenery, a lot of landscapes, some still shots, animals, but we don't have a lot of like people doing stuff. So those are pretty important. And it could be really simple, boring stuff like putting your mail in the mailbox and shoveling your driveway. Like that kind of stuff's important. Sounds crazy, but we could use some stills of that. So
We have those really soon.
I have cards, so you can take them with you. Just send me all day long. Moving forward, so after the website's done, our focus then shifts to tourism marketing outside the county. Obviously, the website's the most important aspect of that. That's how most tourists find places. I'm sure you guys know anytime you go somewhere new, you're going to look up their area website. Sometimes you end up on a page for their government. Sometimes you end up on a page for tourism. So a tourism page is ideal because it's directed directly at the traffic looking at the page. So the goal is to get our listings up very high when you Google Lakeview or Lake County so that they land on that instead of your home government pages. Promotional, so we'll be using this brand style guide to develop collateral assets that all match, from flyers, records, brochures, business cards, so everything has the same look and feel. When we do ads and like the colors of Lake County, those are all now have the same look and feel. So hopefully people start to recognize the brand that is Lake County as far as the tourism agency goes. Social media, that's the other next big push. So we will have a new Facebook page in addition to the one we have now. The one we have now will be still focused on membership and sharing posts and the local news. And the new Facebook page will be all about Lake County's Facebook page, and it'll be focused on the outward message of tourism and getting people to come visit. We will also be adding Instagram, a Pinterest, and a Twitter. Email marketing, there will be a section on the website for people to sign up to get a digital, that's what I'm looking for, visitor's guide. And so instead of printed visitor guides are pretty expensive, so we'll do a digital one so it's a little more cost effective, and we can send it to them in an email link. And so, but we will also get their email so that we can send them future promotions and hopefully stay up to date on giving people a reason to come to Lakeview and Lake County. Digital marketing, so hopefully in next year's marketing budget we can set aside some working dollars towards advertisements as far as print and digital promotions go, to kind of be outward facing, maybe some retargeting. So maybe if people are Googling where should I visit in Oregon, or best small towns to visit, or rural America, then maybe we can start following them around the internet. That's what retargeting does. It follows people with the keywords that you've decided to use to promote that ad. That's the game plan for us. It's a lot, but we're super excited. Does anyone have any questions about how it's going to affect you guys as members?
Curious about your social media marketing plans. Like, it sounds like you're trying to hit all the major social media outlets with you. Who's going to keep that fresh and up to date?
That's what they pay me for.
Okay. So we do have.
Yep, yeah, I have a person designated to manage the social media sites.
Unless you want to do it.
No, that's why I'm asking. It's like, I know how much time it can take just trying to keep up with a couple of social media stuff.
Yeah, it is pretty time consuming, but we've got a good structure for it, and so we'll stay up to date on it. But the content is the most important part, so for it to be really useful, especially with me and my stuff being out of town. It's any photo content we can get, any information on upcoming events, things that tourists would want to see. Those would be really important for us to get, especially if you're having an event that's occurred before. Photos from last year's event would be super helpful. General blog content too would be great, stories, history, that kind of stuff does great in the search engine. Talking about local attractions. So, if we put a bunch of attraction information on the website and people are Googling best place to go find sunstones, then hopefully our website shows up, right? That's the goal. So, same thing with Hot Springs, same thing with Southern Oregon in general. Hopefully our website starts to populate very high in those rankings.
We have some pretty good photos that we've taken from our shop. We've got this great view of the fairgrounds. So we're always taking pictures of every time there's an event or what have you right there. So we just email those.
I would love it if you.
We've got a rainbow going over the little
Was it
old
one
western town.
Did you submit it to the contest?
No, I think one of the ones we submitted was the flag hitting the rainbow. That was right outside
Okay,
our shop and stuff like that. But, I mean, it's really funny, like when the eclipse, and we're always taking pictures, okay, what's going on across the street? But they're just sitting there, and I just thought, because during fair time and like 4th of July, we have those. I don't know if you want those.
Absolutely, yep.
We'll be
You're
happy to.
Dan Freck, right?
Yeah, I'm Wendy.
Okay, perfect. So, I remember from the photo link, from the photo you posted. So, anything you have, we won't use everything. There'll be stuff like a couple of the pictures that got posted were like maternity pictures, which are awesome, but it's probably not something we'll put on the tourism site. So we will filter them out and don't be offended by that, but we will be kind of pick and choose, but we'll take them all. Because you never know when something will come up, but we'll need some weird, strange
They're
pictures.
just sitting on the computer. You're welcome to use
Yeah,
them.
I mean, Halloween, you'd be surprised, any picture, I'll just take them all. So, that's our big goal right now is photo assets, video assets too. Video's a little tougher, usually you really need to have someone come in and do a very particular shoot for the assets you want for video, but we'll put it on the list.
So for Tour de Outback and the Lake County Roundup, if they Google that, then that would pop up.
So what we're doing, so for Tour de Outback, Roundup, and Warner Canyon Ski Hill, what's going to happen is we're going to take, as I understand it, Tour de Outback doesn't have, or Marie, as I understand, it doesn't have a current website, right?
Right.
So for the other two, they do. So we'll be taking those URLs and replacing their existing sites with these new sites. So hopefully what'll happen is it'll be twofold. It'll help the Lake County's page as far as content and generation and links out. The more links you have in and out from good content sites, it really helps boost your SEO. And so then for Tour de Outback, we'll be getting a new URL and attaching that to the new site. So it'll be its own standalone site if, for some reason down the road, all, one or all three decide they want to go on their own, they don't want to be managed under the same deal, they can. And they can all manage their own sites, post their own stuff, and I'll train all three on how to do that.
And when do you anticipate those sites being live?
The Lake County, that's a great question. So
Particularly the Tour de Outback site.
So the Lake County Chamber page is obviously the first focus. That should be pretty well done by the 15th of March. And then after that, the next focus will be Roundup and Tour de Outback. Warner Canyon understands that their season won't be till next winter anyway, so they are going to be the last project we're going to do. So that won't be done last. So my hopes are that we will have the Roundup page done by the end of March, and we will have the Tour de Outback site done in April.
That's bad.
Close.
First August, first week of August.
It's fictional. Switch them? I don't know.
Because Roundup's in
Because
September.
Roundup's in September. Yeah, I guess we could.
It's
Just let
still kind
let
of
them
late
know.
though, because,
Switch them.
It's like, we're kind of late already.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we'll be ready for next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can switch it, you can get it done.
Yeah, I mean, and I could talk to the Roundup people and just make sure they're okay with that.
I have a question, and it might be better directed at Jessica, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering about how well integrated the event calendar will be. I know In the past, I've searched for event calendars because I'm scheduling an event and not wanting to overlap.
And that happens a lot here too, yeah, the
It
overlapping.
happens an awful lot.
Yeah, there's always a lot of stuff going on at the same
Yeah,
time.
and some of the things you don't know about until the very
Mhm.
last minute, like some of the smart stuff that's going on.
Yeah,
So
We
I just
kind
wondered,
we kind of go back and forth. Examiner has a really good calendar and they
Right.
have a lot of the sports in there.
right,
And so we don't have that aspect. We're not gonna have the sports and all of that stuff on our calendar, probably ever. I mean, that's what they kind of do with the Examiner calendar.
mhm,
We are more focused on chamber member and chamber members events. We are looking at with Victoria having just, we'll have our events like our, gala and Irish Days, of course,
Yeah,
on
there's
there in
so
their
many of
own
those
page,
that are
but
the same day every year.
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
and
weekend
those.
every year.
And then like our ribbon cuttings will be on there. I kind of talked about doing more events just throughout town regardless of membership. And then maybe having a small fee attached to that or that would go towards our, payment. But it's still we're still kind of in the,
I think the one thing I see a lot is it comes down to knowing about the event. So, well,
Mhm.
I think most of the time I highlight out, we're gonna say, no, we won't post something.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a local sporting event, so that's, other than that, I'm guessing we would definitely post it. It's just a matter of getting all the information. So if we don't know, we can't put it up there. So if we get it and we have links to wherever you want us to link to, your Facebook page, your website, whatever information you want us to put on there, I think we'd be happy to post it.
yeah, I mean, if it's for sure coming from a member,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we will always put that up. And this will be a lot easier. And it has such a bigger audience this way than just our old chamber site did. And she'll be able to track how many people are,
And where?
yeah, and report that back to us that we can put in the newsletters. That, this month we've had, a spike in people logging on and people outside everywhere, not just local people looking on the chamber site. We're all aware of our local stuff and our local businesses, but this has such a bigger audience. It's such a bigger benefit for members to be on this one. So, I mean, we're thankful that you guys are so patient with us while we're making this transition, but it's gonna be such a bigger benefit and we're gonna really be able to track it. We're gonna really be able to show you, this is really working. We've got all these users, logging on, staying on, going on, and really give you some hard facts and some real good numbers on, this is growing, this is what they like, and give you a way better benefit this way on this tourism site than just the chamber site could have ever done, really.
Yeah, and then, are you guys all members? I'm guessing. I figured you would be. So, something, if you run into people that aren't members, tell them about it. And then, the dining, stays, hotels, those things that get listed will be chamber members, shopping, retail. Only the chamber members will be listed. That's the benefit to the chamber members of this website. So it's in their best interest to become a member, and you guys have extremely reasonable chamber membership. So, encourage them. And if they're upset that they're not on there, that's why. So just encourage them to join and send them a.
And Tom brought up too, the opportunity of members maybe being featured somehow in our website. If you guys do have your own website, or if you don't have a website and you want to be a little bit more featured in ours, there will be some avenues to do that. We've kind of been talking about that a little bit.
Yeah, and I think I think it'll end up being a pay-to-play option. So on the directory, we'll have your A to Z kind of listings. And then we'll have your listings by category. So healthcare or hotel stay, hotel motel. And on that, we'll have room for advertising. So there'll be advertising opportunities if you want to be very prominent. So if you want to be at the top of the membership directory, there'll be a spot for that. You might have to pay for. And then Wise Pops is a tool that I think would work really well. So, and I don't think I've talked to Jessica about this too much. I think we talked about it a little bit. So what it is if you go to a site and you get there and all of a sudden a little window pops up and it says, hotels do it a lot. If you book now, save 20% between now and the end of July, right? So in that little window, you can click out of and go back to their main site. Those are Wise Pop's a company that does that. So that's an option. We can feature a business for that month. It does cost, so we will have to charge something to whoever wants to be on that. But it'd be a huge feature. You'd be the first thing that they see when they go to the website.
I have a question. I deal with a lot of people that have home-based businesses. They will consign with me or whatever. But they, they haven't become members because they feel like I don't have a brick and mortar, and I encourage them, try. I was wondering, is there a special fee for someone who's just a home base? And also, is there a possibility of the future of a page on your website that would feature home-based businesses to be able to contact for the locals or what have you, to look for these certain people?
There is a home-based option, and it's $50 for the year.
Okay?
It's kind of an individual, group, or a very small business option. It doesn't have as many benefits. You kind of go up our tiers and you
Right,
get more
I mean-
benefits. They'll probably change a little bit with this new website. Come July, we might have some more, if we can do some web features. I know we've had some other questions about that with some businesses, that maybe our top tier might offer, some kind of feature or bigger, page or something like that, or dedication to them, that we can do. So that might change a little bit, but $50 with the home-based businesses, and with groups like Elks or Eagles or Toward Outback or Roundup are all $50 membership holders for groups, nonprofits, that kind of thing. They all kind of fall into that category. But
Okay.
they can go up higher to get more benefits chamber-wise and possibly with website.
Well, we're trying to encourage, because we have a few people that are just really growing. And
Yeah.
They're ready to go to the next level. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what they were offering now, so.
Yeah, you can get, full use of our printer, and we share your posts. Celicy Lou Creations is a home-based business, and she's really good at Facebook posting, and she's really on top of, she was at the expo, she came here when we did a little pop-up with the holidays, and, the easiest way for us to share it all over the place is for you guys to share it first and for us to spread it around. So we really encourage that happening. It's hard for us to go to every business every day and take pictures, and so if you guys are, really on top of it, we can share it all over the place. And the more sharing, the more, people you get. We had, Lacey did Gold Canyon for a long time, and we shared all of her things, and she said she would get people that she didn't know logging on to her and buying things under her that she didn't know. So that was the only other place that she knew was shared. So it does pay off. $50 a year isn't a huge amount, really. For the benefits that you're getting, we do tons of flyers, posters, all that kind of stuff. But with the website and the opportunity there, we might, with website opportunities, once we can figure those out and what's going to benefit you guys the most, we might, we'll probably be adding more to the 400 membership, and then maybe have another place to bring up, like a home-based business, to climb up and get some more website activity.
I think a lot of the problem is too, is they're used to how it used to be and not knowing all these services are now here, and getting the word out. I've been trying to explain, but it's almost like, if you called a meeting for the home base, I don't know.
Well, we call
One thing
meetings,
at a
and
time.
sometimes we get a big attendance and sometimes we get a small attendance, and
Yeah.
that's what we're here to present, mainly opportunity and, growth that's our mission statement at the Chamber, is to, promote growth for our town, for our county, and for our businesses. So that's what we really try to do. And that's what this website is really doing, is we're hitting a different, wider tourism aspect with this really outward-facing website that we've decided to do. And it's just gonna get a huge, way bigger audience. Not a lot of people log on to the Chamber website in a town that they're gonna visit. So, but they do just hit in the town, and hopefully ours will come up and they'll see all of what we have to offer and all of you guys.
Exciting.
So we're really excited about it, and Victoria's doing an amazing job, and she'll be talking to you guys, and once we get closer, she's gonna be working on the directory, and we'll be inputting everyone. We'll be asking for logos and pictures of your businesses, and getting that up. And feel free to send her pictures and send her, anything you've got going on. If you have, Lori has her wine tastings, which are huge now and are awesome, and those we'll be able to put up there as an event and really get some more, people driving through, if they see that on the website, and she gets, 2, 3, 5, 50 more people, that's fantastic. That's the hope. We hope for 50. We hope for 50.
I'm only good up to 25, remember, like the week you're on.
Yeah.
You're gonna need that expanding loan that you.
I know. We'll all work together. Yeah.
And hire more employees for Wednesdays.
Yeah, so we're really excited, and she's doing a fantastic job. So if you see her, tell people that this is what we're offering now, and it's a huge benefit. And, we're gonna have things on there like Fort Rock and Crack in the Ground, and, just really be able to encompass all of Lake County and get more people here and get them to spend more money here, hopefully. So,
Will you like capitalize on nearby things? I know it's like the Steens, we're kind of the gateway to the Steens. And
You mean, will we cut it off at the border, like?
yeah, I mean, it's like people want to come to Lakeview so they can go to the Steens.
yeah.
And if you advertise that we're the
Mhm.
closest community to there.
Yeah, whatever's gonna
Keep
sell
them out
people.
of Burns and send them to Lakeview.
We'll put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for people that aren't like attraction-wise, they don't have to be members. Like we're expecting that like Forest Service, BLM, open public lands, anything, trails, those kind of things, they're not gonna be members, but we're gonna list them because it's to our benefit to tell people that those are there, because that's why they're coming, and that's what those are 3 of the slices, right? So,
Forest Service is a member.
yes.
Just saying. Just saying. Yeah.
So, over the last couple of years, I've discovered something that I guess I knew about a long time ago, but maybe I rediscovered it. But, Cedarville and the whole Surprise Valley is not that far from us. And that loop, this is not the time of year to do it, but the loop that you can do by going down to Surprise Valley, going either Fandango or going Cedar Pass, and then taking the road that goes up over the mountain and into the Warner Valley is absolutely amazing. And it takes an hour to get to Cedarville. It's not very far away. And I think that we forget about our southern neighbors. We draw that state line, and I think that can be really helpful for them and for us.
I agree, yeah.
To think about that. I just thought of it because like I said, I've kind of rediscovered it because of the broadband project I've been working on. It's very,
Actually, just
Beautiful.
last week, there was a huge group of people that came in from Cedarville that
Oh,
were
really?
looking for antiques and stuff
Oh,
like that.
cool.
Kathy they were like from Cedarville.
Wow,
So,
good.
I think that is a good.
yeah, it's
Well,
really
now,
interesting.
would you limit membership to in the county, or would you be
No.
open to
Yeah.
membership over the border?
Anywhere. Yeah, over the border.
Yeah, so that, and that might be it.
And some of-
Yeah.
Some of the people
Yeah.
that live there have family and other ties here too. I mean, it's kind of a natural,
And they do a lot of business, so
Link.
those people come back.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
We
and
have
for
a shared membership from the people that shoot Hall's commercials
Mhm.
and in Medford, and they want to be members, and so yeah.
How
I
about
mean,
the hot springs that down there, the Cedarville what's it called?
Surprise Valley.
Surprise Valley.
Surprise
Hot
Valley,
They'd be a great one to get
Summer
on board.
Lake are members. I don't know if Surprise Valley is
Call
off the
them.
top of my head. I know. We're trying to get more involved on that side.
And Surprise
This year.
Valley, Summer Lake Hot Springs tends to advertise more in the Central Oregon area than they do
Mhm.
down here.
Oh,
Makes sense, yeah.
well,
They've,
Yeah.
they've got
We'll
disposable incomes, they're
Yeah,
willing to
get-
drop a pretty penny when they come to
Get
town.
those burners.
Yeah.
I will tell you, this last year, since we're kind of the first shop coming in the 140,
Yep.
coming on, okay. What we did last year is we got a bunch of stuff from the chamber, put it there, because sometimes they're just driving straight through, or they just need, and so that worked out really good. So I was gonna try and do something else too with that, and have other local businesses, another shop. Obviously, I'm sending them over here,
Mhm,
but when they stop, they wanna get a soda,
mhm.
they looked right there.
They want something you can take with them.
Yeah, and so Summer Lake was really good about putting stuff there, and because they were always asking, where's Summer Lake? And so we were able to guide them there.
Yeah.
But like having those out, like Valley Falls store, or,
Mhm.
all that stuff, all shops having a little something, I think,
Mhm.
too, and also the chamber
Mhm.
is also benefiting. They could just be casually walking in and, oh, I didn't know that existed. Well, there's more
Yeah,
information over
and Hobby
here.
Victoria too, so she's in Klamath, And having her as well, like we're doing Irish Days flyers, and so she'll be able to distribute those in Klamath. This year for Irish Days, Lapine Rodeo is coming. They're gonna have a booth. And so hopefully we'll get some more interest with Klamath to come over. When I was over there for their tourism studio, we talked about cross promotion and cross attendance in our events, and they were all really excited about it. We both, both areas we go over there a lot, and they drive through here, so we might, we need them to stop and stay. But having her also in Klamath is a way to widen our, our scope as well. So getting the stuff out, the flyers out for Irish Days, and having Lapine Rodeo notice our Facebook that we were having that, and that's what they wanted to, that's just more attention for us. That's good. So that's more people coming from out of town that may come out of town again for Tour de Outback, and they may come out of town again for rodeo and for roundup and for fair and derby. So we want that, we want to spread out and let them know we've had this quiet little gem of Lake County and Lakeview. We want to share it now, just through the tourist season. But we want more, I think it's time to kind of look out too. We want to encourage local as well, but we really want to kind of spread our wings this summer in this tourist season and get some more attention for us.
Yeah, we do put stay a while, not stay forever.
Yeah, just stay a while. Put your boots back on. Come October. Yeah.
Victoria, do you have I was just thinking in my mind, there was a really neat post on Facebook the other day about this landmark, and it would be a great thing to share. So on
Yeah.
Facebook, can we tag you?
Yep, you can tag me personally. I'm sure Jessica doesn't care to tag her. You can tag the chamber. Hashtag all about Lake County. I look at that all the time. So if you hashtag, I will probably see it.
Oh, really?
Um,
Okay, that would
yeah.
be, that's how we would tag you.
And that's the new,
Tag all
that's our
about
new
Lake County.
website. It's called All About Lake County.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, hashtag Lake County Chamber or Lake County or Lakeview. I look at all those a lot. So,
Oh, okay.
or you can email it to me.
Well, I just
And like the
tag,
routes-
it's easy to tag someone.
Yeah, and yeah, you can friend me on Facebook and just tag me in it. And then, stuff like if you have stuff that's not pictures, but it's stuff that we won't think of. I mean, we've been like diving and trying to like pull our brains into dumping information into this, but the loop that she was talking about, stuff like that. Like if there's this trail that people love to go on and it's not listed on any website right now, then I'm probably not going to find it. So if you could send that to me, I would put it on there.
The hidden secrets.
Yeah, the hidden secrets, the stuff the locals know, we want that on the website. All right, well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I think that's all I got. And I've got cards, so I will just let you guys pass them around.
Do you have any more questions for Victoria
Thank
before
you.
she wraps up?
Does anybody want an SBDC card too?
Be nice and thin.
Customs, that when you're done.
Sure. Thank you.
And I think you got like 20 minutes or more.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely gonna give you a call already. Yeah.
Ginger, have you got one?
I don't know if they gave you one already or not.
Thank you.
Yeah, when you're over
So
there,
we
one
have
of
a
these
call
things-
from Representative Finley coming in at 7. If anyone, he's District 50, so he goes up, he doesn't hit Lakeview actually.
Probably
He
the best thing to do
hits
is to call
like,
them, because I'm sure they've got.
what is the road my father-in-law lives on?
Golden Terrace.
Yeah, Golden Terrace. The top of Golden Terrace is his,
Goldbarn.
Gold, yes, Golden Terrace is the end of his kind of reign. And then he skips us in Lakeview, but he does come up to the top part. So like Greg Baker is not in his, like he's down that street there. But John and like Kara and are. It's kind of interesting.
I'm
So-
sorry, I missed the first part. This guy that.
Representative,
You mean he stops?
Finley.
It stops
Mhm.
at Goldmar Terrace?
yep, that's where his
That's
district
weird.
ends our way. Yeah. So it's mostly the Warner, isn't it the Warner Canyon? Really,
Oh,
that's
like
his?
Adele and Clutch?
Yeah, that's his.
Oh,
Ken Kistner explained it to me that way, so that's how I remember it. I can kind of figure it out. that it comes right up to us, but not, it's kind of funny. But he's gonna call at 7 on the conference call that I have set up in the conference room. And he's in Salem right now, and he wants to know if any of you guys have any questions for him, or want to discuss any concerns. If you're in his district, or if you are aware of some district problems over there that you want him to bring to the Senate.
But nothing in Lakeview.
He doesn't cover Lakeview. So, kind of just on the outskirts. So if you guys do want to do that, it says 7. So you can stay or join us back there at 7 and talk to him for a little bit. If not, that's no big deal. But did you guys have any questions or concerns with business going on now? Or did you have any thing that you wanted to bring up, or you want our help with, or you want anything answered?
I know that we've talked a couple times about, you know, we have all the regular, like the Derby and Roundup and all these fun things, but what about adding something new? What we were talking about, a swap meet. Because all the guys that I know in this town go to Portland, and that's like their weekend, and I know that just sitting in the shop, they've been talking, why doesn't Lakeview or Lake County have something on a yearly basis, like do it in the spring or when it's nicer weather? They were all willing to bring a ton of stuff. We could do it like in a parking lot or wherever. And that might get big and bring people, you know, into some kind of, you know, exchanging junk back and forth, basically is what it is. But
Those are fun.
But the guys would, I mean, that's kind of getting the guys involved more, and they would love that.
And that,
So the person who, there's a fellow by the name of Bob White, and he is a person from Reclaimed Lumber.
Okay,
Lakeview Reclaimed Lumber, and they purchased the old wood grain building,
okay,
which is huge.
Yeah.
He really wants to do something like that.
okay.
So I've got his phone number, if you would like to get
Sure.
his number from me.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
He came in and talked to me about that just the other day. He said,
Okay.
what do you think about, I'm going, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, they have this huge building out there, and
Oh, that'd be great.
they use just a portion of it for what they're doing. I mean, they kind of move stuff around because they have all kinds of wild equipment that they use for what they're doing. But he's really interested in that. It would have to be in a little bit warmer time of year, because I was
Exactly.
down there today and it was warmer outside than it was inside.
Yeah,
that building.
definitely.
Yeah.
but that would be awesome.
I think
So I had a crazy idea about a month ago, you guys may have seen it. How would it be if Antique Roadshow came to Lakeview?
Well, that would be awesome.
So I wrote them.
Oh, you
And
did?
I got them, I
Cool.
wrote them.
I would be there.
Look at it, if they, you know, they did.
I'd be
And-
there.
And so the next step that they're gonna be wanting, and that's why when you brought that up, I got all excited.
Yeah.
Because they're wanting to look to see, you know, first it would have to be the proper facility, how much interest it would bring. You know, usually they take them to big cities like Portland and this and that. I'm thinking we have some pretty good antiques around here, and
Yeah.
this is a great setting, why not? You know, and so.
I have some stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and so what I was thinking is, wait,
You, especially you.
I'm full of stuff. I know, I look for her stuff to come out. But I mean, it's something to maybe look at.
Yeah.
It's bigger than me, I would have to come to you guys, but
Yeah.
like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Having, you know, like the swap meet, but also having maybe the antique swap meet, which is really popular where I used to live. And
Yeah.
it brings.
So I didn't hear who you were asking to come here?
Antique Roadshow.
Oh, my goodness. You
Antique
did that.
Roadshow. Just out of a whim, just wrote it.
I Goodwill in Medford contracted with me for 2 years to do an antique auction and show, because they get all this, you would not believe the stuff they get that people just drop off. And so we had the Antique Roadshow guy and a jewelry appraiser come at the same time. You would not believe. We have people around the block It was
gosh.
unbelievable.
That would be so
If you can get
fun.
them to come, that would be
I
really
mean,
cool.
like I said, it was just an email and then
Yeah.
Anna wrote me back
No,
and
good
then
for
now
you.
it's getting
Yeah,
different to me.
good
That's
job.
when I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
That's how things happen.
Yeah,
That's
just by
great.
asking
Good for
sometimes.
you.
Yeah,
Well, I just thought, that would bring a lot of business here in town.
yeah.
From miles.
Did we see that Rustic Home Furnishing is closing?
Yeah.
Sunday is their last day. So might want to stop by, and they were here for a year.
Did they reach out for
So-
help or anything?
I was not aware that they.
So it's my understanding they're going to continue their business at home, but they're not going to have the retail outlet. Is that true?
Store, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
and I wasn't aware, they're gonna have a booth at Irish Days. So I think they're just maybe restructuring.
Yes.
But not gonna have the storefront any longer.
It's really
So,
hard during the winter. And
It's
that-
hard,
especially
and I think
in that
everyone's
shop
feeling
floor.
it.
Yeah.
This winter especially.
The fires, road closures for us last year, already it was tough, but.
Yeah. And I think it's always, I always talk about this, but I think it's just always important to support, your fellow chamber members and business owners, and go to ribbon cuttings and go to cash mobs and do our lucky local lunch. Last week, we didn't have any entries, which is why we didn't do a winner. And it was for the Golden Gem. And this week is for Harlan's, and they're having a huge sale. It doesn't matter how much you spend, as long as you bring in a receipt here, you get entered into a free lunch, and we'll keep doing it. We'll do it every week. And we'll give out free lunches. So if you can't, just stop by and, buy something small. If you can buy something small, buy something you need, buy something you don't need, and just come in and drop it off, or you can leave it with the business owner. We can come pick it up if you're in a hurry. But we just want to, really support each business and each chamber member, and we'll just keep going around and around, and we'll keep picking our chamber members, and we'll just keep doing it every week.
Have you ever heard of Shop Hop?
Actually, the gals at the Feather Your Nest were talking about that.
We were
Yeah.
talking about it today, and it's
Yeah.
pretty neat. It's helped out a lot of small towns where it goes through the whole community. You go from one business and you get a bonus if you go to that business. Anyway, I guess it really has economy in a few of the small towns. And so she had
Yeah.
mentioned it to me today, so
Yeah,
another avenue to look at,
Yeah.
especially in these winter months.
yeah. Yeah, we'll be doing, trying some different things and seeing what sticks, and sometimes it just takes, a while for it to pick up, and, but we did have some really good responses for Backyard Floral and for 39er, and then it just kind of stopped with Golden Gem. So with Harlan's, spread the word and tell people, and doesn't matter what you spend, and just bring your receipts. It's only Tuesday through Thursday. So we picked those days, they're just kind of a little bit of more of a lull of a day, that's part of the week. So we picked those days for a reason, and hopefully we'll get the word
Sorry, what
spread.
day?
And
I'm emailing pictures. I'm getting a lot of pictures. I have
That'd be neat. I'm thinking I'll be doing it.
she's on.
Oh, three times you're having cash mob?
No, it's not cash money.
Yeah, it's the Lucky Local Lunch.
Oh, you bring
So
in
we-
your receipt.
Yeah, you bring in your receipt. Yep, and you get a free lunch. I think next we're doing Subway. So,
Oh,
So on our chamber note, we're investing a lot of money in what we got going on here. We're trying to get people here.
right.
That's the whole point of what we're doing. She's not here to build our community as each other of us have to do on ourselves. We can only support each other so much. We are working to get people here, and it's where we need to focus on keeping them here. They have to spend the money here. The
7 slices.
7 slices, if we don't keep them here, the restaurants and everything, you look around, you see something, you gotta let people know. You gotta keep people aware of what you see when you walk in there. Because we get so lackadaisy when we walk into a business. It's the way it is, it's the way it's supposed to be. Look on the outside. When you go somewhere else, is it like that?
Some
So-
good pie pictures. Some good
pie pictures.
Pie pictures. Oh, yeah, food pictures. would
I mean,
be
I was
great.
thinking the slices,
Yep.
pie.
Oh, yeah, the slices, yep.
Yeah.
It's important for us to keep the people here, because in my business, I see a lot of people come into town and ask me where they want to go eat, where they want to stay.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yep.
I have a very hard time because where do you send people? So it's, I mean, as businesses, I mean, Subway, it's always clean. It's always, you can always go in there and get something good to eat and go. But
Burger Queen is infamous. You know that. They have people all over the state, oh, do you live in that place for the burger, what is it?
it's just because it's kind of a blended name, I think.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as a chamber, we have to, as a group, we have to keep our eye open and make people want to stay here.
I would think a lot of that is within your business, like, we're required by Subway, and I don't know if all my employees still say it, but to welcome each and every person within 3 seconds of coming through the
Oh,
door.
nice.
Yep. And at first it seemed corny, but then it's amazing what kind of verbiage that starts. It makes
Why
a
you
big
Well, when-
difference. to
When people
meet
pull up
them
to Les
and
Schwab,
Talk to them.
when they pull up there,
You guys are.
You ran out.
they're out
They
there.
run out,
I mean, people come up from all over the state, and that's the first thing they notice. Man, when we come up, you guys were right out here. I mean,
Smile.
that's stuff that, I mean,
Well, you never know who is there either. You never know who's visiting. So we had Travel Southern Oregon here. We had the executive director of Travel Southern Oregon and his marketing director come and took them out to dinner. And it was probably the worst service I personally have ever gotten at a restaurant. And I mean, it was just, it was awful. She came, I asked for a Riesling, and she said, no. I was like, oh God.
after you had to bust your own table,
I had to bust the table
you had to clean your own
before
table off.
there was dirty dishes on the table. They never came to clean it, so I busted my own table, their table. And then I asked for a Riesling, she said no. And I think like, in shock, I just said that. And they're here for, their job is tourism. Their job is just, how can we, they just met with our board, they met with,
Can we
you know.
help you get people here, but how
Yeah,
are we supposed to
we're gonna
keep
help you
here?
get people here, like, we're gonna promote you, you guys have got some great stuff, let's go to dinner. Oh, you know, she didn't say, we don't have a Riesling, but how about a Pinot Gris, or how about, you know.
I'll run to the store and I'll.
Yeah.
Get you one.
And she didn't know who I was with, obviously, you know, that's their business, and it's a big business. Travel Southern Oregon's a huge machine. And it was the same thing, he told me where he stayed, and the person at the hotel had their small child with them. She didn't make eye contact with them at all checking in. She was chasing her toddler around, barely got their sign-in information. Yeah, go on, here. And then they come to dinner and get
Why do you
this
want to come back?
horrible service,
I
basically.
mean, we can spend all the money we want on this website,
Yeah,